Now, welcome back to the programme. We've had a number of calls about the €600, the scam phone calls. One texter in, Debbie in Tremor, says, yes, we had some phone calls last week about money being taken out of the bank. I've also had phone calls yesterday where nobody is talking, so I don't say anything and put the phone down. Damien, I wish Matt could be more positive about real progress that's been made in the cath lab and the mortuary. Damien, the cardiac care has already been focused on by our TDs. What can Matt do differently if he did get elected? Damien, I believe UPMC Whitfield are opening a cath lab soon. How will that affect the one that's planned for WRH? Damien, can you get in touch with this person about another matter? I will certainly text her. It's amazing the texts you get in, Niall, all these personal texts. It's unreal, you know. Dogs gone missing as well, and cats gone missing and all sorts of stuff. So we'll come back to that. Firstly, we've got Niall Curtin. Niall, good morning.
Good morning, Damien.
Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us, what is your position within the fire service in Waterford?
Yeah, I'm Chief Fire Officer for Waterford City and County Council.
How long are you in the position?
I'm in the position since approximately 2006, I think, the end of 2006, and that was Waterford City Council, and then we merged with Waterford County Council in 2014, so a change in job at that time.
Niall Curtin, when did you join the fire service?
I joined the fire service back in 1992.
Wow. What do you like about it?
Well, I find it, I joined as an engineer, mainly working in fire safety work. I've been in Kildare, worked there. I've worked in Tipperary, South County Council, and then came to Waterford here in approximately 1997. And I find there's a huge variety in it. You get to deal with a lot of people. You get to deal with business owners. You get to deal with the public. There's a good message we try to give out as regards fire safety. And then we've a fantastic number of fire crews in our 10 fire stations who do remarkable work. And it's always enlightening to get good response from people after the service has been provided. So
10 fire stations. So you have professional full-time members of staff, and then you have what are called, it's still called retained fire officers, or what's the name on them?
Yeah, we have a mixture. So we have full-time and retained fire staff in Waterford City, and then the other 9 stations we have retained firefighters. Now, retained firefighters, they are sometimes they're working in other activities around the community. They're on a pager or an alerter, and they come to the fire station as promptly as possible when there's a call and make their way out to the scene. And they're a very valuable part of the service. And without retained firefighters, there would be no fire service in the country.
I'm really grateful you came into us this morning. William has come into us from City Vets. He'll be talking to us a few minutes about pets and the worries that pet owners will have tonight. Let's talk specifically about a number of different issues regarding Halloween. Firstly, bonfires.
Okay. Well, I might just go back to last year, 2018, over the period, the night of the 31st through to the 1st of November. We would have attended 36 bonfire calls throughout the area of Waterford City and County Council. Now, they're avoidable instances, and I suppose we would consider them to be unnecessary. And the context I'd like to put it into is that during that period of time we also attended 3 other incidents, and 2 of them were building fires. So there were people whose buildings were on fire, and at that time we had fire crews out attending bonfires. So it can draw our resources away from where they're really needed and where they should be prepared to attend. So we see it as being unnecessary and unavoidable, and a burden on resources in the fire service, which we'd like to avoid.
You'd obviously work with the council and matters such as this. I thought bonfires were illegal.
I wouldn't like to get into other people's fields as regards probably environmental protection, but definitely, the unwritten policy would be that we discourage bonfires in the council, and we will remove bonfires where we hear about them. So if people today see bonfires being built in areas where they're dangerous or where they're going to pose a nuisance, they can call the Waterford City and County Council customer service line at 0761 10 20 20 and report that bonfire, and the council will endeavour to remove the contents as soon as possible.
Just read out that number again.
Okay, it's 0761 10 20 20.
Is there anything like a safe bonfire? Can you have a safe bonfire?
Well, it's difficult when bonfires are not regulated to say anything is safe. The danger is you may not know what the contents are within the bonfire. So we'd issue advice to people, first of all, to business owners and to house owners, to make sure that they don't leave out elements or materials that could be used for bonfires tonight. Make sure they're locked away and don't make them available, and don't facilitate the building of bonfires on your properties. As regards, people's own safety, if they should find themselves attending a bonfire tonight, we'd have some fairly clear advice there. We'd say, stay a safe distance away from the bonfire. Sparks will carry in the wind, and also you'll get radiated heat from a bonfire, which, can impact on you quite quickly. It would be important that people, parents, adults, would accompany children if they are attending a bonfire. There are particular risks attached with children. Children will wear costumes, long flowing costumes, which are more susceptible to going on fire tonight. So we need to be careful on that. And then also you have to watch out for the activities or the behaviours of other people around bonfires. If you see stuff being thrown on a bonfire, it's time to move away from it. And what we're really worried about at times would be the likes of aerosols, batteries, foam-filled furnitures and tyres. First of all, they'll give off toxic fumes, which aren't good for public health. But second of all, they're erratic in flames and in heat, and they may actually launch similar to missiles and can cause serious injuries.
So if a battery was thrown in an aerosol can, it can literally explode and come back out. It may travel 5 yards, 10 yards. You just don't know. It
may do, absolutely. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
there.
And it's that unknown is the difficult. And talk to me about bangers and fireworks and issues such as that as well.
Okay, well, it's very similar to what we've talked about, the unknown. The fireworks are illegal, so they're unregulated here. So you really don't know what you're after purchasing, or what you've been given. The big danger with fireworks, as far as I see it, would be you may not be certain what length of fuse is on it. And a firework lit in your hand may explode in your hand. And there are significant, serious injuries happen every year around the country from fireworks. My advice to people as regards fireworks is, first of all, don't purchase them, don't supply them to others. Stay well clear of firework activities if you're bringing your kids out tonight. Don't approach any fireworks that you see on the ground. Don't pick up anything that looks like a firework. The fuse may still be active and it may go off in your hand. So steer well clear of that. And I'd ask, older people, if you have influence, to watch out for the behaviours of other people with fireworks. Fireworks should never be thrown at anybody, and fireworks should never be thrown at anybody else's property.
We had a lady on the other day talking about that, about fireworks being thrown in her letterbox and then being thrown in at her door, and the explosions as well. We'll be talking to William about how animals can react, but it can be very fearful, very scary.
Yeah, this can be a difficult night for people, and I know it is a difficult night for pets with the noise, but for people, elderly people or people who feel vulnerable, it's difficult. It's a dark night, there's new noises, there's fires maybe going in the distance, there's a pall of smoke sometimes over particular areas. So it can have a public health issue. People may be asthmatic or they may have other health issues. It can have an impact on them. They can be fearful. But then also we have, huge damage done to our environment because of bonfires. Our green spaces, our community areas are being destroyed. They won't be active again for possibly another 12 months. The council can spend up to tens of thousands of euros every year repairing areas that have been impacted by bonfires. So there's a lot of things to say, bonfires, we shouldn't really be having them at anymore.
It'll be a busy night for you. You'll have obviously as many staff out as possible, and you'll be working. Is there any way you have to deal with tonight differently from other nights? Is it just a heightened sense of awareness? Do you have to use maybe some of the older tenders that maybe the newer ones might get damaged? Do any of your members ever get assaulted on nights like tonight?
We've had very few instances of it, but it's not unknown, and we have had some in the last couple of years. Okay, I would ask people, please respect fire crews on Garda Síochána, council staff who are just out trying to do their job tonight. Unfortunately, we have had some missiles thrown over the years. Now, the problem with that is, the job is difficult enough as it is without having to put up with that. It can lead to injury of personnel and take personnel off the run for the night or maybe for some period of time, and again it's a burden on the service. Or it can lead to vehicle damage, and we don't want to be taking vehicles off the run when they should be out there doing the good job that's needed for people who need our assistance. So it's rare that we have that kind of occurrence. I hope it stays rare.
How proud are you of your staff?
Oh, very proud of my staff. As I said, it's a difficult job. They're well trained. We're delighted to be able to give them the training and that they can partake in that training, whether they're retained firefighters or full-time firefighters. It's not just a day-to-day work they do at the fires, it can be brave, it can be selfless, but also their activities that they do around the community are remarkable as well, whether it be for charity functions or spreading the good word about fire safety as well.
Niall Curtin, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Can I just add one more thing?
Please do.
If anybody has an emergency tonight, please call 999 or 112.
999 112.
Absolutely.
Niall Curtin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, as I said earlier, if people want to text in any texts or comments, please do. William is here from City Vets. Good morning, William.
Good morning, Damien.
Thanks for joining us. Anybody regarding pet issues, is particularly about the night that's in it. We're going to have 10 top tips to protect your pets. Firstly, a number of texts coming in. Part of the green area in Cherrymount was destroyed by a bonfire years ago. The council did nothing to remedy it. Damien, I was amazed visiting the hospital on Wednesday to see you now have to pay for your disabled badge in the new car park and the palliative care, the disabled spacing. Disabled space. This something should be done about it. Enjoying the show, thank you very much. Debbie has texted in that she got two different numbers of these scam phone calls, one from 0061 and one from 0091. And other people texting in about that as well. Now, William, anybody who's got pets tonight, tell us about dogs and cats, I suppose. They're going to be the main ones that will be affected by by Halloween. Yeah,
obviously some pets, particularly dogs, perhaps have a phobia about noises, don't like loud noises. Not all. I've distinct memories of bringing my dog around years and years ago when the kids were young, dressed up as Wonder Woman. We got a little Wonder Woman costume for the dog and brought her out trick-or-treating. So that was good fun. So some dogs are okay, but quite a large number of dogs have noise phobias and react in a very stressful or very irrational way to the bangs that we hear as fireworks go off. And
just before we talk about that phobia, is it particular breeds, do you think, that may be more susceptible? Yes. Or, like, for example, what breed was your dog when you brought her around?
She was a crossbred dog, kind of collie cross dog, but a very quiet, calm dog.
And she was okay?
She was fine, She had no fear of noises, and she took the whole thing in her stride and had quite a nice evening, and even got a few treats, as I remember. There are certain breeds. Yeah, some of the hound lines are, and there is actually in some cases there's actually a familial inheritance that noise phobias are passed down. So there's obviously some kind of genetic component, but it can affect any breed and any dog. A lot of it's down to early socialisation. So if dogs have been at this critical age up to about 16 weeks, if they've been kept in a very sheltered environment, if they haven't been brought out, if they haven't got used to traffic noises or to loud noises outside, then that can lead on to develop noise phobias as they get older, just because they haven't had a chance to get used to realise that these things are normal, they're part of everyday life. So if you have if you get a young dog, a young puppy, always for various reasons, but that's one of them, get them out and about as soon as you can and get them into lots of different environments and get them used to noises and used to everything else before they get to 16 or 18 weeks old. It gets more difficult to treat them after that, but it can be done.
So let's say somebody wants to bring their dog out, has to bring their dog out tonight to go to the toilet for an evening walk, whatever the case may be. What would you advise them?
Yeah, so I suppose, look, tonight that's in it, there are some ways you can treat noise phobias, but it's too late to start that now, basically. So yeah, if your dog is nervous about noise, obviously try and get him out during the day before it gets dark, before the worst of the fireworks start up. Cats, I think you're better just keeping cats inside tonight altogether. Just keep them inside. Cats obviously can get a fright. And just every year we'd see dogs and cats that are brought in as they've strayed off, they've wandered off, their owner can't be found because of the noise of Halloween. So keep cats in, keep dogs obviously on a lead, a short walk, preferably during the day. Make sure they've got identification, so in case they do get off the lead, make sure they've got the disc, or obviously microchipping is the best way to identify dogs.
Like, you'd imagine a cat or a dog, their natural instinct would be to run home if they are fearful. So let's say they're out on the road, they're in a country area and they hear a bang, the natural thing would be to run home. But the disorientation that they experience...
Not necessarily. It's because of this panic. So it's like a phobia, a noise phobia. It's like a panic attack in a person. They don't behave rationally. That's the whole point of the thing. So they just run. And they might run for a minute or two, and then they're somewhere that they don't recognise. And then how do they get home then? So that's what happens, and then they go off and they get found by somebody.
And they might hear another bang?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And obviously each time, so with noise phobias, each time a dog is exposed to noise that has noise phobia, it actually gets worse. They get worse over time rather than improving over time.
Have you ever seen any injuries for cats
or dogs? Absolutely, absolutely, all the time, yeah.
That would have suffered if somebody's thrown bangers or explosives too close to them? Not really, no? Not so
much. Not so much. And I suppose you'd have to... How would you know? You'd have to actually have someone who saw that happening and actually was there and brought the dog in and said, OK, this is what happened to this dog. You'd see dogs with injuries, but I think the bigger risk would be running off and being hit by a car because they're running across the road because they get a fright. That's the more likely scenario. So no, I mean, fortunately, we don't see very much actual malicious injuries to dogs. Yeah.
What advice then if you're in the house with your pet?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I suppose I say if your dog is afraid of noises, if you know that, and it's tonight, it's too late to do anything else about it. Obviously, you keep them in the quietest room. In some houses there's an indoor room, it might be a hallway or a room with no windows where the noise is a little bit lower. You should put on background noise. Quite so you could have music, and like you don't want to be playing the Ride of the Valkyries, like, you know. So something like maybe a piano instrumental, that kind of music. There is actually music, believe it or not, there is actually music for calming dogs.
Right.
It actually has been produced.
Are we talking Handel rather than Tchaïkovsky?
Exactly. Stay away from
Wagner now would be a bit too...
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, perhaps kind of instrumental violins and some piano, that kind of music, kind of low levels, any kind of music, and have that on at quite a high volume. So that in some ways it kind of masks the noises.
Because if you have complete silence in the house...
Oh, of course, yeah.
The bang is going to be...
It's going to be. It's the same at night. Noises are much louder. During the day, there's other noise to distract you. So it works to some extent in dogs. There are, for dogs that have severe phobias, there are some medications that can be helpful. There are some supplements that have nutritional supplements that have a calming effect on dogs, but they do need to be taken for a few days before it starts. There's stuff called dog appeasing pheromone, which is quite useful. You can get that either as a spray or on a collar. And it's a pheromone is a chemical substance that has a physiological effect on the dog. So this pheromone is produced by the mother when the mother is feeding young puppies. She releases this pheromone. So when dogs smell this pheromone, they automatically feel, it's a physiological thing, they feel that calming, it reminds them of that calming, safe environment that they had when they were feeding from their mother. So it's not produced, it's been produced commercially, and you can buy dog appeasing pheromone, and that could be useful.
And it's not too late to get that this afternoon?
No, you could start them on that straight away, yes. And the other one that does work straight away then is Valium. Valium works to some extent in dogs. The dose is a bit variable, so again, it's better if you can try it for a day or two before and see what level they need. But anyway, Valium for dogs that have severe anxiety.
And is there specific Valium for dogs or cats, or is it just...
It's the same. It's the same Valium.
And would you be talking about half a tablet, one tablet?
Yeah, it depends on the size of the dog. And I say it is a bit variable between dogs. So usually we recommend try half tablet. If that doesn't work, give one tablet. If they're very bad, give two. It obviously depends on the size of the dog. That's the big issue we have. Is a Chihuahua needs different dose from was in Burnett.
Well, it could be in a happy place for a long time.
You won't be bothered by noises. The Valium tablets.
What about Valium and cats? Would you give cats Valium?
Yeah, you can. You can use it. It's perhaps even more unpredictable in cats, so the dose is really hard to get. The main time actually we use Valium in cats, it's a strange thing, but if cats won't eat, especially if they're in the clinic, so if a cat that seems okay, but he just, whatever's wrong with him, he won't eat, if you give them IV Valium, intravenous Valium, a very small dose, and they get the munchies, they start straight away, you have to have the food there, because otherwise they start to eat you. So you put the food down, they haven't eaten for 3 days, you give them a dose of IV Valium, and they really start eating the food. It's amazing how it works.
That's like somebody getting a few drinks and they get the munchies after it, or smoking a certain thing.
Exactly, exactly, it's the same effect.
Very good, very good. Any other advice for pet owners tonight? We've had a text in regarding exactly what you're saying. Damien, we train our gun dogs to the noise of the gun between 9 and 14 months old, depending on the personality of the dog. We let them hear the bang from a good distance away and gradually decrease the distance. Most dogs can be trained to accept loud bangs from a young age with a little patience and know-how.
That's the other thing I did want to mention is it's too late to do it now, but you might as well, when it's in your head, you might as well plan for next year. Noise phobias are actually easy to treat, but it just takes about 6 weeks to do it. It's the desensitization technique, where so it's the same as to treat people that are fear of spiders. You start off showing them a picture of a little spider, and then you gradually, by the end of the day, they've got a big tarantula crawling up their arm and they're fine. So it's the same with noises. Same with noises. So you can actually buy a CD, or I'm sure you can stream noises of fireworks or of traffic or whatever, and you play them at a low level in the background. So you just have these things on your speaker at home in a very low level. You just have fireworks going off in the background, for a couple of hours a day for a long time. And you put it up just a very low level, just until the dog is starting to look a little anxious, till he's starting to notice it. And if he's getting a bit upset, you turn the volume down a bit and just go back a step. And you just do that day after day, and gradually increase the volume. And it works really well. It takes about 6 weeks to do, but it's very, very noise phobias are very, very treatable in that way. So if your dog has noise phobia, I know it's not going to work for this year, but he's going to be the same or worse next year. So get one of these CDs or start streaming this stuff and get your dog used to noises gradually over about 6 weeks, and that's the end of your problems, and obviously much better for you and much better for the dog.
Good morning, Damien. Our 7-year-old dog won't go for a walk for the past week at night or mornings. Are they okay?
It could be the fireworks, couldn't it? Sometimes if dogs are funny animals, if they get even a fright once, and sometimes it can happen that we don't even know they've had the fright. So suddenly, they won't go out into the garden or whatever, and it's because they've had a fright once, and permanently then, or for a long time, then they have that affects them. They have a fear of that event. So absolutely, I mean, there's been bangers going off all week, so it absolutely might be that.
Yeah, the grandmother of an autistic girl has phoned in to say she's terrified of the sound of fireworks. The young girl, unfortunately, has to be taken away every Halloween because of stress and fear.
Oh my goodness.
He says bear in mind that people, along with animals, are terrified as well. It's not just animals. Another texter, please don't give chocolate treats to dogs. It can kill them if they are with children trick-or-treating. We discussed this. But we did discuss this. There is certain types of chocolates that...
Yeah, well, it's the cocoa that's dangerous. So the higher the cocoa, and I suppose in fairness, the trick-or-treat kind of chocolates, they tend to be kind of sugary things rather than cocoa.
So don't give them...
But yeah, you shouldn't give human treats to dogs. When my Superwoman costume dog went out, she didn't get chocolate treats. Some people were very good and gave her little doggy treats, and that was very nice. So make sure you have a little doggy treat ready, as well as your little chocolates for the children. Just
before you go, phobias regarding spiders. We did a big thing a few months ago regarding spiders.
Okay, all right.
And I know a number of people in the building here, they won't even talk about it now, because we did a piece about these false black widows and people being bitten by these spiders. Is it possible for somebody to get over a phobia?
Oh, totally, yeah.
It
totally.
is, isn't it?
It's the same technique, so desensitization. So exactly the same as that gentleman about the gun was saying. You start off just with exposure at a low level, just where it's just you're a little bit edgy, but it's okay. So like that, it'd be either the noise at almost an inaudible volume for the dogs with the noise phobia, or
so you get a small spider.
No, you get a picture of a spider, a small picture of a spider, a nice friendly looking spider, not one of the big hairy ones.
I know one lad here who's terrified of them. It doesn't matter what size, he's terrified.
Yeah, and it's strange. So you have a picture of a spider, but over time, then you just get used to that because you can only be afraid for so long. You kind of run out of fear hormones, don't you? And get used to that. And then you have a bigger picture, a more close-up picture perhaps of a more nasty-looking spider. And then you're perhaps exposed to real spiders over, in a box in the corner, and then after half an hour you're okay with that. So it's desensitisation.
I know, but if this person's listening, he had to deactivate his Facebook account because of the spiders.
He's actually, just we're talking about spiders,
just even talking about
goosebumps. Yeah. Well, he must have trouble at Halloween as well, mustn't he? Because there's spiders all over the place now as decorations.
There are, exactly.
I see that you have a lovely Halloween party going on upstairs now. I hope there's no spiders up there for him now. Okay.
William, listen, thank you very much. I know you're very busy. We'll let you go back to work. William from City Vets, it's a pleasure having you. And anybody out there tonight with cats, dogs, pets, be very, very careful.
Keep them safe. Keep them safe. Keep them indoors. Keep them safe.
The very best of luck to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Damien.
Now we are going to be talking about dental care for children. If you're a mammy or daddy or guardian out there and you've brought your child through the school, I suppose, dental care practice system for an examination and they haven't been seen, let us know how long you've been waiting for that call. We're going to be talking to Katie in a second regarding the matter. Katie did a quick chat with me yesterday afternoon. Firstly, a couple of texts still coming in. Damien, can you please ask motorists to turn on their lights when driving? I've just driven from Waterford to Tramore. At least 12 motorists driving without any lights on. It's a dull, rainy morning. Visibility is poor. Thank you very much. Damien, just got a bogus phone call on the high road in Ballyduff, Kilmeaden. It was a recording about the €600 that they're looking for. Are the guards sure they should be... The guards should be checking out this, says this texter about that matter. Damien, hard facts for Matt Shanahan this morning, but it's not today, but polling day. We must remember those facts. Short memory in this county for years has led us to many of these problems. Now, yesterday we spoke to Anne O'Neill, one of the leading dental practitioners in the country, about the issues facing parents when they've long waits, inordinate waits, regarding getting their children seen, and there's plans afoot to change the system. This is what Anne O'Neill had to say.
Well, it's a lack of investment rather than specific cutbacks. If you talk about cutbacks, it means that somebody has taken a pot of money and relocated it. But unfortunately, there's been a lack of targeted investment in our salaried services. So that has meant that the local services have had to make decisions about what they can provide within the resources they have. And a lot of areas are saying that they're not even being given the opportunity to advertise for vacancies that arise. So they're not being able to actually undertake the process of replacing dentists. Knock-on effect is that you actually have fewer dentists available to do what should be the three key examinations during a child's life in school, which is what is currently supposed to be within the system. And I think that's probably what's been reflected by your readers calling, or your listeners calling in, saying that they've got delays and waiting for treatment.
And one of those ladies that did call in is Katie from the Clashmore area. Here's the little chat that I had with Katie.
Yes, that's right.
Katie, what part of the county are you in?
Well, we're Clashmore, but Dungarvan now is where I'm at the minute.
And tell us, you were listening to the whole thing of the dental thing, and what's your own story? When did you get examined first?
It was so funny. We were just coming in the car, and next thing you came on about the dentist. And I was like, oh, Grace, that's us, and literally I just put it, was Grace actually put it in, and we just said, I was trying to think when she was last called, because when she was called first, they were going to measure her for braces.
Yeah.
She has good overbite. And they said, look, we may not get you back, I thought she was going to be put on the list, but they said she had baby teeth, so we won't. We'll hold off.
Yeah.
But the next time we were called is today. And that was second class.
How many years ago was that now? Go on, tell us.
Well, she's in first year now. So what's that?
Second class, so third class, fourth class, fifth class, sixth class, and first year. So 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Ah, Janie Mac.
Yeah. Now, thank God her teeth were in good condition today. But
you wouldn't want to be You wouldn't want to be waiting or worried, would you?
No. And they did ask, like, at the end, would she? I was waiting for them to say something about her overbite, and at the end they said she has a slight overbite, and I was kind of going, she's a fair overbite, like. But I said yes, they were checking her in second class, and they said they'd leave it. And so this girl now is putting her on the list, and that's a year for the waiting list to get seen by the orthodontist, and 4 years then to wait for work to be done. That's
what you were told.
She would be, she'd be 18, nearly 19. She'd probably be left secondary school,
Oh, it's just...
So we're just going to wait and see, because how long it takes, and if not, then we'll have to go down another road, because she'll be all the way through her teens with, like... And it will cause a problem, because it's very hard to brush in between her teeth, are crooked in the front of her mouth. So that will cause problems later on, and even the dentist agreed with that. That I said it's very hard to brush between her front teeth, because they're wedged at the side. Her other teeth are pushing in on her front.
Oh, yeah.
So she has to...
And did you say to the dentist this morning, like, why does it take, like, it's going to take another year just to see the orthodontist, and then take maybe another 3 or 4 years for something to be done?
Oh, well, you were told straight out 4. It's not their fault. As they said, they're hiring. She was a young dentist now, this girl. She wasn't the original dentist that we would have seen. She was a young girl, very nice. I must say, they're all lovely. I have a friend in the dental nurse, and they're beautiful. Every one of them are brilliant. And they do such great work, but there's no financing.
And they all have lovely teeth. They all have lovely teeth as well.
But like, it's a complete different story from when we went to the dentist. We were terrified going in there. But these girls are lovely. Like, Grace didn't even think about going in there this morning. There wasn't a worry, Whereas if they had the funding, if they had, like, we went into a fabulous new premises, everything beautiful, but you're going to be waiting years for any kind of help,
Yeah.
But like Grace is cool enough, like I said, which wants to brace, and she said, well, I'll have all my teens done, and I'll be, getting them going into college nearly, if she goes to college,
Oh, like it's not a laughing matter. It's a very serious matter, because
it is a very serious matter. Yes, it is, because like they're as good as what they are at brushing their teeth or whatever. But everything has sugar in it now. Everything a child puts into their mouth, it's sugar. No matter whether it's sugar-free sweeteners, there's something. Like, they need to be seen every 2 years. They need to be seen in the classes 2nd, 4th, and 6th, which was originally there. For them to catch any damage in between. That does need to happen. But like with my 2 older boys, that was happening. It's just on Grace the third, it just seems to have faded away.
Well, listen, the best of luck, Katie, and I hope Grace is going to be okay. And there's no...
She's smiling, there's no fear.
Listen, it's lovely to talk to you, and
and
say hello to everybody in Clashmore for us.
Will do.
God bless. Thank you, Katie.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we hope Grace does get sorted. Anna's texted in. She got 2 of those scam phone calls yesterday into her office. They're from a 0091 number. A lady in Clonay Power said she got 2 phone calls yesterday saying she owed €600 and they wanted her bank details. They hung up the first time and rang back on a different number. Regarding Air, this texter says, I signed up to get broadband from Air, was told fibre was available at my address just outside of Tramore. The company installing my line told me there was no hope of fibre in the area for at least 18 months. I contacted Air over the next 9 months to have the contract cancelled, but they refused to allow me to cancel, which was for 18 months. After endless calls to Air over the next 9 months, they finally admitted that they were not able to supply fibre. Their email service is non-existent, which means you are forced to make a call. You're left waiting for long periods. Although Air have now been taken over, they're trying hard to get new customers. I'd rather be without a service than sign up with them. That is from Declan in Tramore. A lady phoned in to say her granddaughter saw a dentist at New Street a number of years ago when she was 8. She never heard anything back. Never heard of a follow-up appointment. Her granddaughter is now 45. Oh, that'd be funny if it wasn't so serious. Now, keep your texts and comments coming in. Assisi House is a beautiful, lovely, friendly daycare centre with brilliant staff. It's Waterford Senior Social Centre. It's up by Dominic's place, just up beside Mount Sion GA Club. Went up there yesterday. They do great work. They're doing some fundraising. They want to thank everybody that have helped them over the years and continue to help them. And they have lovely staff that go in there. So here's a little report that I did yesterday afternoon, and we talked to Dick, we talked to Sharon, we talked to Veronica, and we talked to a lot of the people that are attending there. Firstly, spoke to Henry Maloney, who's there with his father, Henry, as well. What's lovely about Assisi House?
Assisi House is a fantastic facility. It's a social club for older people, you know. Where it pays to point out, it's not a care centre. It's somewhere where people can go, older people can go, combat isolation. You know, they can have a hot meal, can meet their friends. We have great facilities here. We have a hairdresser, chiropody. You know, we have a small wellness centre. So it's an absolutely fantastic facility. And everybody involved is very passionate about it, you know.
What do you like about it, Henry?
I was one of the founders of this place. And what I like about it is to some place where the old people go. I'm 83 nearly myself, so I'm an old man.
No, you're not that old now. You're looking fresh. You're looking all right.
Thank you very much for the hospitality. I really mean that. And fair play to WLR. I really mean that.
It's lovely coming up here as well. It helps other members of the family, gives them a little break, and just sort of, it's lovely to come up here. What do you like about it? Is the food good and is the crack good?
The crack is good. The food is terrific up here.
The amount of work that volunteers put in is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, but people are great. Water people are great, as we all know. You know, no problem putting their shoulder to wheel when they need. You know, even with fundraising for this facility, it's absolutely fantastic. You know? And
there are lots of businesses that support as well. Lots of people, individuals and businesses.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people don't want to be named. You know.
Thanks to Tom Murphy. You know the garage man, Tom. He's very good at this place. And he's a new chairman. They're easy to have Tom on board.
Wouldn't be that uncommon for somebody just to walk in who's run a marathon or run a raffle or something and donate funds to you know, particularly people whose family members have been members in the past and now passed on and so on, you know.
Lovely. We'll let you go inside and enjoy the celebration.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks, Henry. God bless you. Dick Roach. Dick, how many people are in here on a daily basis?
Well, today now we've over 40 people out there singing and dancing. We'd have anywhere from 30 up to 45 on a daily basis. And you can come as you want to. It's not that you have to come every day. You can come for one day. Some people prefer bingo, some people prefer music. And everybody's welcome. And it's a great atmosphere, a great way to get out of the house and meet new friends.
Oh my God!
Oh, look, we've got somebody dressed up in a Halloween costume. Who's
Hello? It's. I don't think she's dressed up. She's a witch, all right, but I don't know if she's actually dressed up. That's the joke that's going on all week. I'm telling all the staff that they don't have to dress up, but they're just coming up as witches. So,
how many staff here? What's it done? Is it voluntary?
Look, the way it works, Damien, is that there's a small core part-time minimum wage staff up here, and the volunteer hours as well as being paid. So it's not about anybody making any money up here. Everyone is doing it for the passion of the place. And then we'd have people who just come up on a purely voluntary basis because they like to come up here. There's no big manager in here getting paid or anything like that. Or like, you know, we heard about the charities years ago, things going on like that. It's not like that. It's all very basic. It's a small enough operation, and we try and keep it as cheap as possible for the patrons. As I said, the people of the city are out being great to us as well, you know.
Like, how do you pay for stuff up here? How do you pay for meals and everything every day?
The contributions that the members themselves give pays for the meals. We get help from grant.
We get a small grant every year from the HSE, which would only cover a fraction of our cost, Damien.
Yeah.
So then the patrons pay €8 a day, as I said to you already. For that €8, like, they're here from 9 in the morning till 4. We have our Josie Meany bakes all the stuff here for the afternoon, a 2-course meal in the afternoon, and always entertainment for €8.
Yeah.
So how we manage
to do that?
Where
would you
get
it?
I know, it's great.
I've just seen some of the dinners coming out.
Yeah.
Fabulous looking dinners.
Yeah, well, you missed the ribs and cabbage there today. I know you'll be a ribs and cabbage man yourself, so you're a bit late. Like, Waterford in particular has a very high ageing population, and like, where do these people go to socialise, you know? And I really believe, and I really firmly believe this, we're changing people's lives up here.
Yeah.
And not only their lives, but the families' lives, because there's people who are getting a break or might be caring for a loved one or whatever and getting a break, and we're changing their lives as well. So it's very rewarding work. I mean, I love it, Damien.
Well, one of the biggest things, I think for me, is the fact that one of the biggest things we face in this city as an ageing population is loneliness. And if they come up here 3 days a week, that's 3 days in the week that we know they're not lonely, because they have people around them, they're laughing, they're smiling, they go home smiling, they go home saying we had a great day, and that's why we do it, so that they go home saying they had a great day.
Can I just say to you, Damien, finally, when the new career in WLR is all over, I'm going to make sure that there's a seat out there for you, and we'll feed you well. There's no hassle. We're keeping the seat warm.
Make sure you get your ribs and cabbage on a regular basis.
I can't wait. What's your own name?
Mary.
Mary. They call you Mammy, do they?
Yes.
Mammy Cody.
Mammy Cody.
Where are you from, Mammy? Where are you from, Mary?
Cannon Street.
Cannon Street.
Yeah.
And how long have you been coming up here?
18 years.
18 years.
Yep.
And what do you love about it?
Oh, I couldn't do without it. That's one thing I couldn't do without it. I think I go off my head. Just I do the bingo.
She does all the shopping for the bingo, which when the patrons get a check at bingo, they usually get household items and things that you might find useful at home to bring home with them. But Mammy Cody does all of that shopping for them, and frequently gives Dick heart attacks when she tells him it has to be done again. Because he doesn't like spending money. But she spends it on him.
And tell us, would you come up here 2 or 3 days a week? Or
3 days.
3 days a week?
Yeah, 3 days.
And you've made some great friends up over here.
Marvellous, yeah.
Marvellous friends.
Yeah. It's all gone now, the best part.
And what's the food like up here?
Oh, God. There's on its own.
The food is lovely, is it?
Couldn't be any better, so it couldn't go.
And what about all the staff here? Tell us about the staff.
They're out on their own. If you want a thing, they'll get it for you. Some people now wouldn't eat bacon and cabbage. They get something else for them. And it's never short of anything now. Thank God we're just running right with the money and everything, and just hoping God will keep it up.
And you're looking great in your witch's outfit. It's obviously rude to ask a lady her age.
I'm 88.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, 88.
And this place has...
Oh, yeah.
It keeps you going?
Keeps me going. That's why I said I've come. Just while sitting at home, my daughter, I'd say, be up in the mental hospital. She can't be there so much.
We'll let you get back to the party. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Right, love. Thank you.
Thank you. You're very good. Yeah. Thank you. Veronica, how's it going?
I'm good. And yourself?
You're dressed up as... you're not dressed up as all, said Dick. That's what you're normally as.
No, definitely. No. I'm what's your woman out of the Monsters? Morticia. Yeah. Nice one.
Why do you like coming up here?
Well, I love all the people that are here, and we start life as babies, and obviously we're born into a lovely world when we come in there, and life takes us as well. But at the end of people's lives, they would come here, and it's not a home, or it's, as I call it, a youth club for old people. That's what I call it. So they can join in any of the crafts, the art stuff that we do. They don't have to eat some of the dinners we have. We do music here as well. We do. We actually do quite various lot of activity. We actually do exercise as well. Believe it, Some people of certain ages actually are still able.
Oh yeah.
Just they might not be able to move their hands or their legs, but the head still moves. And
what's your own name?
My name is Anita Purcell.
Anita, tell us, you're dressed up here. Tell us about why you love this place.
I'm here about 8 years now, Damien. Mammy came here after Daddy died, passed away, and it was a lifeline. Bridget Hayes, Betty Hayes, Newport Square she's from. So it was lovely for her to have somewhere to come.
And what was your father's name?
My father's name was William Hayes. Billy, they called him. Yes.
And she's up here now regularly?
She's 8 years here now. 3 days a week, Tuesday to Thursday.
Loves it.
And she just loves it. It's a lifeline. Anybody that's out there on their own, they should come up here, because it is a lifeline for them. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you very much.
My native Waterford, being sung up there at the Assisi House. Thank you everybody for the lovely welcome that you gave me yesterday. And want to wish continued success to all the staff there and all the patrons, people that go there, and the brack, the lovely brack, and the cups of tea. Marvellous work being done by Assisi House. And as you heard there, people that donate money privately, people that don't want any credit, people that are public about it as well. Continued success and continued good health to everybody at Assisi House. Now, thank you everybody for your texts and comments. My son is waiting 4 years for braces, says this person. A woman who worked with the dental department of the HSE says if managers manage and let the dentists do dentistry, it will alleviate a lot of the problems. The managers have the dentists doing a lot of the administration. Have a safe and happy Halloween, everybody. We are going to have Rory Cowan on the programme tomorrow. That's from the Mrs. Cowan's boy, from Mrs. Brown's Boys. Rory Cowan on the programme tomorrow. Jeff is up next. Have a great and safe Halloween.